1313 Mockingbird Lane. Right up to the front door of the Munsters Mansion. We even have the replica of the dead tree out front. 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
Well, my name is Sandra. I'll be doing your tour today. I'm one of the owners. My husband thinks he's the other owner, but it's really my house. He said it too many times on TV. So
Nice.
Well, if you've seen the show, then you know the entryway is one of the most important parts. They show it in every single episode. We do have spot under the staircase. We do have the rotating suit of armor at the top of the staircase. And over here we do have the coffin phone, and yes, it does go back into the wall. Now, we lived in this house for 11 years with it just like this. We had one normal room, and that was our living room, but everything else stayed just like this. So when we lived here, it was an actual working coffin phone, and yes, I did use it a few times. It was a little strange, but I did use it. So,
Nice.
when y'all ready, come on into the living room.
This is so cool. It's the phone and everything. There he is.
Gotta have Herman.
Herman Munster.
Okay, so in here is the living room. Everything in here is just like the show. We've reproduced the draperies, the sofa, the coffee table, the electric chair, the clock, things all the way down to the lampshade here. Now, this organ here is not the original organ by no means, but I had a guy contact me about 15 years ago, and he's like, Miss McKee, an organ looks identical to the one in the show. It doesn't work, but I'll sell it to you for $10,000. I said, yeah, I bet you will. I waited a few years. We found this on Craigslist. It is identical, and we got it for $500. So sometimes you just have to wait around. Now, y'all are welcome to sit in an electric chair and take a picture if you like. I promise not to turn it on. And this is Herman Munster. This was the size of him in the show. He was 6'5" in real life, and once they put the boots and headpiece on him, he was 7 foot tall in the show.
Jeez.
Now, we were very fortunate through the years to have 3 of the cast members here. We had Grandpa Munster here in 2002. Eddie Munster has been here so many times that I've got his signatures on the 2x4s behind the sheetrock. So
Nice.
And the second Marilyn Munster, which is Pat Priest, that's her on the show. She played episode 14 through 70. She came to our charity event for 13 years in a row, and unfortunately, there's only 2 left alive, and that's Eddie Munster and the second Marilyn. And I do keep in contact with them all the time. So
Nice.
it is nice.
That's
having
awesome.
Original cast members here. It was pretty cool. So anyway, over here is our dungeon. They did not have this railing in the show, but during one of my charity events, I had a lady fall in this dungeon. Yes, we had a full house of tours. The tour guide was in the middle talking to people. She wandered off, and she had backed in here because she was trying to video, and she fell backwards in here. She was the nicest lady I've ever met in my entire life. Took 2 guys to get her out. She was in a dress, but she was so kind and sweet. Of course, she was embarrassed because everybody was ooh and ahhing, but I did keep in contact with her, and she was fine. So I keep this up now so y'all don't die when you come to visit. So, it's the simple things in life here.
Right?
So y'all take your time, but when you're ready, meet me in here in the dining room. One of the largest Munster collectors, Kevin Burns, he passed away and they were auctioning his stuff off. But with Lily's dress, I thought for sure it was going to be at least 60 to 70,000. It only went for 17.5. It was still 17.5 though. You know, my husband said, "Baby, bet on it." I said, "They want a credit card." He said, "Oh Lord, don't bet on it." So, but I mean, it was awesome having all that stuff here, and it just I don't know, when Kevin Burns bought the electric chair, he paid $60,000 for it. It only sold for $40,000. Now the clock is a prop. It's not even a real clock. It sold for $120,000.
Jeez.
What do people do for a living?
That's what I'm saying.
Not everybody can be doctors and lawyers. Now, come on. There's got to be something. I don't know what people do for stuff like that. I mean, it was awesome having it here, but I just couldn't even imagine having to pay for stuff like that. So, but it was cool having it here. I loved it. Now, a friend of mine come down and show me how to do all these breakaways in the wall so I can officially destroy the house so that sheetrock and make it look old. For years, I'm trying to get my husband to distress the outside of the house. Pick your battles. We don't win that one. Yeah, you'll learn to pick your battles. So now it's distressing itself. It's falling apart every year, and we're constantly replacing stuff. And here's the dining room. Everything in here is just like the show, from the beaded board on the walls, the butcher block, and these famous popovers over there. We reproduced the hot water heater, the cabinets. Even had these chairs in it because I couldn't find the heavy-duty chairs like they had in the show. So. Now, over there, the stove is another Craigslist find. As you see by the picture behind it, it is identical to the one on the set. My husband tells me all the time, maybe 50% of the people are not going to notice these things, but the 50% that do are diehard fans, and they'll call you out every single time.
Oh, yeah.
These dishes on the table are from the set, but I didn't get them in time for my last charity event. So I set the table with a brown set of dishes, had a lady come through the door and come outside to find me to let me know I had the wrong dishes on the table. She was very sweet about it, though. I'm thinking, okay, my goodness, it took me forever to figure out that print and all in black and white, but she knew immediately. So I told my husband, yes, they will call you out, so you got to be cautious of that. Now, over here is Lily Munster. I won a phone call from her, and I knew I was getting this phone call, and I made a whole list of questions, things about the house, her dress, her hair. She called me one day, and I was out Christmas shopping. So I was sitting in the car for a whole hour, had a conversation about nothing. I guarantee she felt I was the weirdest person she'd ever talked to in her life. I was like, hey, how are you doing today? It's like, oh my gosh, Sarah just asked a question. But she was so kind and sweet, and of course, the following year she passed away, and I was just thankful that I did get to talk to her. So she's such a wonderful, wonderful lady. I mean, drop dead gorgeous. If you've never seen a picture of her when she was younger, she was only 40 in the Munsters. They all look so old. My Grandpa Munster was a year younger than her, and he just always looked old.
Yeah.
He never looked young. Now, she did, but they were so young when they did the Munsters, and they looked older, of course, with the makeup and all.
Right.
They all looked ancient, but, But it was, when they brought her dress here, it was so small. I thought my statue guy didn't know what he was doing because he made her this small. But that dress was actually that tiny. That's what I told him when I looked at that dress. I said, oh my gosh, why is this dress so little? They said, well, it was made to fit her body. And, back in the 60s, women were a lot smaller than we are now. But she was extremely tiny and only 5'4". So, she was just a drop-dead, beautiful, gorgeous woman. This is part of a murder mystery dinner I do once a month. So we're in Roaring Twenties costumes, and when you come in for the murder mystery, you get a 40-minute tour of the house. Throughout the house, there's 4 clues placed. It doesn't solve the crime, but it is related to the crime. If you get all 4 of them in detail, then you win an extra clue. Then we go into our 3-hour murder mystery with full dinner, complimentary wine. If you don't like wine, we will serve beer when we're in the Roaring Twenties costume, which makes it, even the guys will put in that. So it's so much fun. Only 10 people total. We've yet to have boring people. So I've been very fortunate to everybody that comes out. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, wow.
So up here is the top of the staircase, the back landing. In the show, when they rode the suit of armor around, they never showed you where they were getting off. But they had to go somewhere, so it would be the back landing. When we lived here, that was my Christmas closet. It's now an extra loud for Grandpa. Figured that's what he would want from me. We also cut the short door in over here. It's only short because of wood on the other side, but I didn't want to ride the laundry basket, the suit of armor around the laundry basket, so we cut the door in so I could go down the back stairs. So please watch your head when you go underneath it. Oh, that guy hit his head so hard last week, it was hilarious. Well, only because I just told him to watch his head, and he hit it anyway. As soon as he did, he turned around and looked at me and goes, I know, you just told him. Like, his friends were dying. smiling. Now, I just kind of left the room so I would laugh because I was laughing inside. If he hadn't got hurt, I'd really been laughing. But, so please be careful when you go underneath her. So, we're going to go into Lily and Herman's room next. So, y'all follow me this way.
Wow.
So in here is Lily and Herman's room. The most noticeable thing in here is, of course, the canopy bed. When we lived here, we slept on that bed for 11 years. That is an antique full. Yep. As soon as we moved next door, first thing I got was a king-size bed. Now, mind you, forgetting to step down in the middle of the night, you'll only forget it once. But it's pretty rough when you do. So, now over here, these dresses are not original dresses by no means. But in the show, Lily actually had eight different dresses. Most people didn't notice because it's black and white and they were so similar. But through the years of doing our charity event, I dressed as Lily Munster. So I've had all 8 dresses reproduced, plus the cape, plus the dress for the 1966 Munster Go Home movie. Now the auction guy said, I can find out who bought that dress. I said, what, you think he's going to give it to me cheaper? He said, no, maybe he'll display it here. And I thought about it for like 30 seconds, and I thought, nope, that $17,000 dress would probably be worth $70,000 to him by then. So
Yep.
nope. Never had anybody steal anything or do anything here in 22 years, but the minute I put somebody's dress in here that doesn't belong to me, something would happen. So, yeah. But it would have been awesome. Could you imagine having her original dress?
That would have been
I mean,
cool.
you couldn't wear it, but I could stare at it. It would be awesome. Oh. Now, they had 2 doors in this room. Don't know why. Both of the doors go out to the same hallway. Doesn't make sense. A lot of things they did didn't make sense, but it's like if you're sitting at the kitchen table, and where we go up the back staircase, they make that look like it's all the way down to the front door, which is physically impossible. So theirs was a set and a facade that was never a hole. So keep my 4 youngest grandkids in trouble. They're boys. They used to always try to ride the suit of armor around. Now, normally I like to replace the dust that comes off of things, but when we had the live auction 2021, we had Eddie Munster in here rotating it around, video and him coming out of it. So those are actually his footprints. So I left them there because they belong to Eddie Munster.
That's cool.
So the next room we go in is going to be Marilyn's room. You know, she's the ugly duckling, the plain one. So she had a normal room. So if y'all want to follow me this way.
Yep, definitely not Herman and Lily's. Yeah.
So in here is Marilyn's room. Over here is a picture of Pat Priest. She played the second Marilyn Munster, episode 14 through 70. Now, Pat will tell you when she went into audition, she thinks she got the part from Beverly Owens because she could wear all the same dresses. They were exactly the same size. But she'll also tell you she's the most important one because she was there the longest. Now, in the show, when they changed Marilyn's, which a lot of people didn't notice, they were both blonde, same size, black and white. But when they changed Marilyn's, they also changed like Herman's demeanor. He went from being real macabre to more goofy and childlike. And they said Grandpa's nose was real long in season 1. He'd come in the morning, they'd do his makeup, he'd end up drinking his coffee, sticking his nose in his coffee, so they had to replace it with a short one so they didn't have to replace the nose all the time. Now, in the show, when Marilyn comes out of her room, they make it look like she comes out from across the hall from Eddie's room. But when the guy climbs up the balcony to elope with her, or the one that climbs up here thinking he's saving her, he comes into this room. They only did 2 episodes in this room. Both episodes had 2 totally different rooms, so I could choose between the one I liked the best. This one reminded me of how sweet Pat is. She is 87 years old. She lives in Boise, Idaho, and she is literally one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet in your entire life. Took me 20 years, but I finally got her to text. So I get to random text I get to save. So now all the things in here, it's like the show. Of course, the canopy bed, the kidney-shaped dresser, the mirror, the clock, things, the bookshelf, 60s encyclopedia. We do have a secret passageway that goes from this room into Grandpa's room because Eddie likes to travel from room to room. Nice. Now, the oddest thing I was able to find is this 1943 Russian ballet picture because they only showed half of it in the show. And I found that on Etsy, and I wasn't even looking for it. I was so proud of that. So, I don't know. know. But, you know, I mean, when you find something, you're really proud of it. So now the voodoo doll is not Marilyn's. That is part of the murder mystery. I have to put some odd things out in different rooms so people notice it. And
Right.
people always notice Marilyn didn't have a voodoo doll. No, but Grandpa could have. So,
Yep.
so, you know. But now y'all take your time. But when you're ready, meet me in the hallway and we'll go to Grandpa's room.
All right. I like the secret passage door.
Yeah. I can see boogie.
Mm-hmm. Boogie be all up in that. She just pop up and be like, "Hi guys."
We're going to go into Grandpa's room. It's the smallest room in the house.
There he is.
Gotta have Grandpa. So in here is Grandpa's room. This is Grandpa Munster. Most people thought he was a lot shorter because Herman was so tall it made him look short, but he was actually 6 foot tall. And when he came in 2002, he was amazing. I've got videos of him walking through with tears in his eyes talking about the memories and all, but he's a very blunt man. We had one of our guests ask him if they'd received residuals from the Munsters, and back in the day, nobody received anything, but I won't say the word Grandpa said to the person, but he said, "What are you blanking our ass? Why are you asking me these questions?" I'm like, Grandpa, people are just curious about things. So, but when he told stories, he was an amazing storyteller. Now, Grandpa slept on a slab. We thought about doing a real slab. 2 reasons we didn't. One, of course, is money. Second one is afraid he'd fall through the floor, so I did my version. Also did extra lab work up here because Grandpa loves lab work so much. Now, my first piece of lab work I bought on eBay, and they red flagged me. And I thought, well, why red flagging me? You're selling it. So then it scared me. I figured they come kick my doors in. They'll never believe this stuff is for Grandpa's room. So there's a place called Canton that has a First Monday Trades Day. It's humongous. They have it every single month. It's permanent. And I went there, found all this lab work, the lab work in the back landing back there, and lab work we used to use in a haunted house here from one man. I so wanted to ask that man what he's doing with it. But I needed it too bad, so I didn't ask him, but I was curious because he had so much of it. Now, they made Grandpa's walls look like he was actually in the attic, even though they did the one episode in the attic where Herman was trying on his uniform. It didn't fit. Grandpa's room was not in the attic, but that's how they made it look, so that's what we had to do. Some things didn't make sense, but that's what they had. Now, if you come through the secret passageway on the other side, you come through the radio here. Now, that actually hangs down to my attic. I have to have that hanging down so I can reach it without a ladder. I had a lady come in one day, and before she ever walked through the door, she said, "Do you have a lot of spiders?" I thought, so, well, yeah, we have spiders. I said, you might see some fake ones laying around. I didn't realize the woman was terrified. She came up here and the top of that tassel hit her head. She started screaming and slapping. She wasn't faking it either. Tears. It took me 25 minutes to move her from this room to the next room. She was that upset. So, I mean, now I understand a fear because I have one. I can't even look at it on TV. Snakes.
Yeah.
And this is the worst property for it because we have a creek behind us. And why was I not thinking of that when we moved it, when we bought this property? But it is. Now, let me explain this picture over here. People wonder why I have that picture in Grandpa's room because this artist, Randy Souter, he came to our charity event, our first charity event with Grandpa Munster, and he brought this picture for us as a gift, and he had Grandpa sign it and Eddie sign the back of it. So I leave it in Grandpa's room because he was connected to Grandpa. So I didn't know who he was. I had to look him up. He's a Disney artist.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, you're an artist? Yeah, let me look you up. I didn't know nothing about art. So anyway. Now, y'all take your time in here, but when you're ready, meet me across the hall to my favorite room. It's the fun room. It's Eddie's room. It's the best room in the house. So in here is Eddie's room. All the things just like the show is the rug, the cage with the alligator, the large mouse trap, Spot's doggy din-din, Eddie's woof woof doll, the big baseball bat, Spot's collar, even the closet. Now the two fire extinguishers and the teddy bears from the set, that costume is not an original costume, but I had a guy contact me, it has to be at least 16 years ago. And when he was a little boy in the 60s, his grandmother made him that costume dress as Eddie Munster from Halloween. So he wanted to know if he sent it to me, if I would display it in Eddie's room, and I was proud to get it. So he sent me the costume and a picture of him as a little boy in that costume sitting by his grandfather, and I just thought that was awesome.
Nice.
So even if I'd have won Eddie's costume, I'd have still left that one there because it was just so nice of him. Now over here, this is Eddie Munster. This was the size of him in the show. I asked him one time if they did his fangs that way for the show. He said no, he already had them. He thinks that helped him get the part. I think he was just a good actor. Now he is 70 years old. Got married for the first time, I think it's 9 years ago. They're divorced. He doesn't have any children or anything. He is talking about in August coming down and bringing his new girlfriend because they're going to do something in Austin. So that would be awesome. But he's very proud of himself, and I'm very proud of him. He's been clean and sober now for 12 years, and he's also survived prostate cancer. So he's come a long way since the first time I met him. So I'm very proud of him. Now I want y'all to take your time in here, but for the ones that want to follow me through this way, you can follow me through the secret passageway. If you don't want to go through here, I can meet you back in the hallway.
Okay.
And it's a tight squeeze, sorry, I wasn't thinking that through too well.
Watch the mouse trap. This is what Laurel was asking for.
Why you keep bumping into me?
Seemed like the thing to do. This room is cool. Got the tiger skin rug on the floor. That's a huge baseball bat. Secret passage.
Oh my gosh.
Love the secret passage. That was awesome.
Okay, we're going to go back downstairs. Please take your time and be careful. Watch that bottom step. It's taller. Careful with the bottom step. It's taller than the others. We're going to go down this way.
Wow.
So in here's my memorabilia room. This is where I collect all my Munster stuff. You know, they had tons of things in the 60s, like lunch boxes and coloring books and paper dolls and puppet dolls, 16 different comic books. They're making all the new stuff now. Some of it's okay, some of it's not. They're making it really ugly. And they're making her with a pink dress. A vampire wouldn't wear pink. What's wrong with these people? Now, you see the picture up there, the black frame of the blue house in 2005. Me and my sister-in-law went to Universal Studios, going back lot to see the Munster house. Well, we got there, and that's what it looked like. They were in the process of filming Desperate Housewife. It was on Wisteria Lane in Desperate Housewife. And according to all the California guests I get, they have not turned it back to the Munster house yet. They did lower the barrel and the turret and painted it a mauve color, but it's still not the Munsters, which is really sad. But my favorite piece in here is this tuxedo. When Grandpa Munster came in 2002, the town next to us donated this tuxedo for him to wear for the charity event. Well, Grandpa burned it right there with this cigar. Yep, I did keep his cigar. So I contacted him, bought the tuxedo from him, and didn't have it dry cleaned or anything. I got his DNA all over. He got me some Grandpa Munster here. I was hoping he'd haunt my house, but hey, not doing his job. But my husband used to wear these boots to dress as Herman Munster for our charity event. He took so many falls in them boots. He did learn to fall gracefully, but he was so thankful when he didn't have to wear them anymore. But that was a wonderful time, their charity event. Now, this part of the house they didn't show in any episode. Grandpa walked through that door one time, but they didn't show you what was over here. That's the reason why I could have the memorabilia room. This is my murder mystery parlor. And here's where we actually do our murder mystery dinners. I'm set up for next weekend. So in here's where we do our murder mystery dinners. We're set up for next weekend. We got a total of 10 people. And when you come in for the murder mystery, most of the people I don't know at all. Some of them might have been through it on a tour, but most of them I don't know at all. I send you a 3-digit code. Your 3-digit code represents where you sit, what your character is. Once everybody comes in and has a seat, each character has asked 2 or 3 questions by the narrator. If all of our guests like your answers, they ring the bell. Once they ring the bell, you're allowed to open your envelope. When you open your envelope, you found out who your character is. That's when you go into opening your box and you find out your props. Once everybody knows who they are, this is our characters up here. We like for everyone to get involved and enjoy it. We have so much fun. Now, a man might have to play a female part, a female might have to play a male part, because we never know if we're going to get more men, more women. We just can't. I had this lady come in. She said, my husband's 70. He's really reserved. He's probably not going to get into this. I'm thinking, why do you spend that money? But I also thought a little bit of wine, maybe he'll start having fun. Well, I had placed him as the burlesque dancer.
Nice.
Within 30, 40 minutes of the night, this man was hilarious. He was swinging things in the air, kicking his leg up, talking in a woman's voice. She's over there videoing going, I don't even recognize this man. He was so much fun that night. It was hilarious. It's amazing, though. People come out, and they might be someone, because I always ask people ahead of time and tell them you might have to play a male part or a female part, whatever.
Right.
And who's the most outgoing, because we have one part that's really out there. And because I don't want to put somebody, if they're really shy and they don't talk, I don't want to put them in some part. Everybody has parts, everybody, so everybody counts. But we have some that's a little more talkative and all. And I've had some where people go, oh no, they really don't like people attention on them. That turned out, I'm like, are you kidding me? One. Well, that is a good part. Oh my God.
Well, that does it for us here at 1313 Mockingbird Lane. This was awesome. It's awesome.
They did such an amazing job replicating this house.
Yeah, they did.
Like, it is mind-blowing.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. Like
I want to live in it.
Yeah. Oh, I would easily live in this freaking house. Like, I was expecting like a little something, little things here and there, but no. Exact freaking replica. I mean, what more can you ask for? Like, That's up there with somebody doing an exact replica of like the Addams family house.
So future plans, you know, if they ever decide to sell it, this is retirement.
Oh yeah.
We're retiring in Texas.
Yep. Never thought I'd retire in Texas, but I would buy this place and retire here easily. Well, thank you to our VIP Road Warrior patron, the Crip Lady. Thank you for your support each month. It greatly helps us out. If you'd like to be a member, just head on over to our Patreon and check us out. Check us out on all things social media. Everything. And thank you for watching this video. We hope you enjoy it much as we enjoyed making it. And until next time, catch you guys down the road at the next exit.
Keep it spooky.
Later.